understand how much effort movie actors have to put into their roles. Acting could seem pretty easy. Just memorize a few lines of text, sit in an armchair in front of a makeup artist and film to scene. Not necessarily from the first take, but in real life, everything is not so simple. Often, artists have to lose or gain a lot of weight, prepare for the role for months, change their voices and wear bulky outfits, and tons of makeup for hours. Today, we will tell you about several actors who made real sacrifices for the sake of a role. By the way, at the end of the video we will reveal the secrets of why the famous tooth scene from the Hangover movie, Danny's Astound. Watch the video until the end to not miss a thing. Let's get it on. Usually clowns need at least an hour or two to apply their makeup, but we're talking about an unusual clown, a movie villain Pennywise, who in addition to frightening makeup also has a creepy look and a mouth full of fangs. In the movie adaptations of Stephen King's novel It, Swedish actor Bill Skarsgård played the role of this fearsome clown. Naturally, without makeup, he doesn't look like him at all. Before each scene, the actor had to wait in the armchair for a long time until a makeup artist finished his work. This image was actually very different from the Pennywise portrayed in the TV show of the 90s. In the movie adaptation from 2017, the costume designers wanted to create a new Pennywise, which incorporates the styles of and different historical periods. For example, the ruffle collar around the neck was popular during the reign of Queen Victoria and Elizabeth, just like the high waistline and ruffle elements on the shoulders, wrists, and ankles. As for the makeup, this was also challenging. According to Bill, he had to get to the movie set very early. In fact, his work on a character began long before filming. The actor thought through every detail of the image, from facial expressions to an ever-changing voice. Pay attention to Pennywise's smile too. Bill created it by pulling his lower lip to his chin. Wow. It's hard to believe that this is not the results of applying makeup or visual effects. Though, of course, the rows of terrifying teeth were created using computer graphics. Marvel and DC movies are created using a lot of CGI. It's simply impossible to film something like this live. But still, actors have to make quite an effort to transform into their characters. Take Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy. Actress Karen Gillan, who plays this character, came to the set at 2 or 3 a.m. to allow time for an extensive makeup work. Before filming even began, the girl shaved her head, which is already quite a sacrifice. But that, of course, was not enough for the role of a space supervillain. The actress had to endure at least 4 hours on the makeup chair to transform into Nebula. The reason is that the makeup artist applied a 5-piece prosthetic makeup on Karen's face. It took at least half an hour to remove the makeup, too. Odd, but it's hard to imagine how the actress's skin felt under all these additions. The plot of the movie Castaway tells us about the main character, named Chuck Noland, played by Tom Hanks. Chuck's plane to Malaysia ditches at Dirwantshire Sea during a terrible storm, and he finds himself on a desert island, being the only survivor. Obviously, living in the wild would greatly affect the appearance of the protagonist, but the visual effects in 2010 were not as advanced yet. That is why Castaway was filmed in reverse order. First, the scenes in Memphis, where Chuck wanted to propose to his girlfriend, but suddenly had to go on another trip. For these scenes, which don't take up that much of the screen time, Hanks gained 23 kilograms. Then filming was suspended for about a year to give the actor enough time to lose weight and grow a beard. Well, how else can a person completely isolated from civilization look like? You don't need to be a doctor to realize that putting the body through such stress is detrimental to their health. As a result, In 2013, the actor was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and he's firmly convinced that it was caused by the endless diets he kept for several roles. Rapid changes in weight are also to blame. Nutrition specialists call it the yo-yo effect, when a person successfully loses weight but soon gains it due to stress, and then the cycle repeats again. Hanks believes that he is also to blame for what happened. Although his blood sugar level was always above average, he kept losing and gaining weight and almost did no exercise. One of the most important milestones in the career of Christian Bale is the filming of Christopher Nolan's trilogy. Based on the comics about Batman, it's clear that special effects and superhero costumes were a huge part of these films. However, actors also had to work hard. Bale, as the leading actor, was very thorough with his transformation into the caped vigilante. He worked a lot on his voice. The actor was constantly practicing different intonations. As Bruce Wayne, Bale was calm and steady, and as Batman, he sounded husky and menacing. Bale spent weeks training his vocal cords, using the voice of a vigilante, even off the set. He even lost his voice at some point, but this is not the most tragic thing. Later, the actor's voice was digitally altered during editing, so his effort was in vain. Actually, the Dark Knight movie became so successful thanks to the mind-blowing acting of Heath Ledger. He received an Oscar for his role as the Joker, but unfortunately, he received it posthumously. There are theories that the role of the crazed clown drove Ledger to his death. My left foot. It would be logical if characters with disabilities were played by the actors with similar handicaps, but in real life, none. This almost never happens. However, this doesn't mean that we can't have believable movies about this subject. Daniel Day-Lewis, who played the courageous Christy Brown in My Left Foot, proved it. By the way, for this role, the actor even won an Oscar. The plot tells us about the man named Christy, who suffers from cerebral palsy. Many people, including his own father, don't take him seriously. However, thanks to his persistence and support of his mother, he learns how to draw with the toes of his left foot and becomes an artist. As a true professional and a very talented actor, Daniel decided to fully get into the character. He spends as much time as possible in a wheelchair. He even refused to leave it during lunch, demanding that his assistant spoon fit him, just like the protagonist. In addition, the actor also learned to take the posture characteristics of a patient with cerebral palsy, but once he overdid it and broke 2 ribs. Daniel has always been known for his exhaustive off-screen preparation for roles. He personally killed wild animals and even spent some time in a real prison. The Lobster. The mood of this auteur film, which won the jury prize at the Cannes Film Festival, seems grim even for the viewers. The plot tells about the guests of a mysterious hotel who have 45 days to find themselves a couple. Otherwise, they will turn into an animal. Sounds creepy, right? We can only imagine what it was like for the actors on the set, but for Colin Farrell and the challenges began even before filming. In the movie, he was supposed to be a large single man going through a divorce, so the actor had to gain almost 20 kilograms in 2 months. Colin never really was fat. He'd always been quite a slim guy. That's why he had to go to extreme measures to gain so much weight. For example, defrost buckets of ice, cream in the microwave, and drink it like water. Eat 2 hefty pieces of chocolate cake for breakfast, and to top it all off, devour greasy pizza, juicy burgers, and other fast food, of course. I'm still here. Last year, the movie Joker caused quite a stir, especially the main character played by Joaquin Phoenix, who won a whole bunch of awards. At the end of the year, Phoenix has actually been acting since childhood, and his talent for transformations was obvious long before Arthur Fleck's story. Take, for example, the 2010 pseudo-documentary, I'm Still Here. It tells the story of several months of Phoenix's life. He announces the end of his acting career and decides to devote his life to hip-hop. Yeah, you heard right. The actor did it not on the set, but in real life. He went on various TV shows and gave interviews, in which he spoke sincerely about his future as a rapper, and seemed like a crazy person. The actor looked quite untidy, and let his hair grow on his head and face. Well, he also performed on stage. Of course, that's a given. As a result, the plot of the film was kept secret until the release, and many really took Phoenix's statements seriously, even people from the movie crowd and those close to him. After the prank was finally revealed, the actor shared his vision of the meaning of the film. Phoenix and the movie's director Casey Affleck wanted to show the behind the scenes of the young life of a public person in films. They are usually constantly in front of a camera lens, become objects of speculation, and at the same time, desperately trying to figure their lives out. Phoenix even admitted that he was surprised by the naivety of the media, who sincerely believed his performance. If you don't know that Lisbeth Salander was played by Rooney Mara, it's very hard to believe it. In real life, the actress usually looks like a very pretty brown-haired girl with nude makeup and a classic styling clothes. In The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, though, she played a reversed hacker girl with a short black haircut, bleached eyebrows, a scattering of tattoos all over her body, ear tunnels, and many face piercings. Before the filming, Mara was so far from the new world of body modifications that her ears weren't even pierced. Of course, she could have used fake piercings, but the actress decided that everything had to be authentic. So, for the sake of the role, she had to make several punctures, cut and dye her hair, and even lose quite a lot of weight. After all, in the books by Stieg Larsson, Mara's character is so thin, she's almost anorexic. And that's only the visual part. Just imagine what the actress had to do to start thinking like the daring genius hacker. By the way, in real life, Rooney Mara and Joaquin Phoenix are dating. In May, the media reported that they were expecting their first child. We wonder if we should wait for a film with both of the incredible actors in it. You've probably never heard of this film. It made a modest box office and the reviews were not all that ecstatic. However, there were some interesting things about the filming process. In the story, the main character, Alexandra, played by Jean Dujardin, is shorter than 140 centimeters. Because of this, his relationship with his beloved Diana, a rather tall woman, is not taken seriously. The actor, however, is over 180 centimeters tall. How did they solve this problem during shooting? Though, easily enough, Dujardin acted on his knees during most of the movie, but that, of course, was not enough. Later, the image was completed using computer graphics. In some scenes, the actor was also replaced by a short understudy who also consulted the screenwriters. Another story of extreme weight loss for the sake of the role. This time, we're talking about the Australian actor, Christopher Hemsworth, who played one of the crew members of the ship, the Essex, in the disaster film called In the Heart of the Sea. The ship is attacked by Doi, a giant sperm whale, and the sailors have to spend a long 3 months in the sea away from land. Food is scarce, things are heating up, and the characters, of course, are literally fading away. Hemsworth and several of his colleagues had to go on a strict diet to look like the starving poor sailors. The actor said that his daily diet consisted of only 1 boiled chicken egg, a pair of crackers, and a stalk of celery. In the end, Hemsworth lost about 15 kilograms. According to him, 90% of the conversations between him and colleagues on the set consisted of discussions of what they would eat first thing after the shooting was over. So, are you ready for a story we mentioned at the beginning of the video? When the characters of the Hangover wake up the next morning after a freaky party, they are in for a lot of luck, unpleasant discoveries, and a complete amnesia due to the incredible amount of alcohol they consume. Here you have a tiger in the bathroom, a running chicken, and someone's crying baby. But a character called Stu, whose role was played by Edward Helms, finds a gaping hole where one of his front teeth should have been. Now
Thank you for watching till the end. I hope you liked it. Subscribing really helps this channel grow. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and share the love by sending this video to someone.